I've been very privileged in the cities that I've been able to live in these last few years. I spent some time in London, Sydney, Australia, great city, Toronto, where I was, raised, phenomenal place. I would love to spend a little bit more time learning an entirely new city, whether that's, for the long term or just for a little bit. Two years ago, I think I was going through a lot of firsts in my career. I had a big movie coming out and opening worldwide. I was basically doing a lot of things for the very first time. I was on a talk show for the first time. I was doing a lot of these major things that I had grown up watching on TV and dreaming about, the opportunity to be able to do one day. I went to the Met Gala for the first time, which was, incredible and also such a nerve-wracking experience. But in the 2 years since, I think the major difference is that I've kind of really settled into it. I think there's a learning curve to whatever this is. You want to call it fame or Hollywood maybe. And it's a nice feeling to have gone through enough of these experiences that, of course, everything that comes, I'm always incredibly grateful for. But there's a difference between being grateful for something and being just overwhelmed and awestruck, because sometimes when we're in shock, we don't really know how to react or how to act. And now I think there's just a sense of calm and weatheredness. I'm not saying I'm a veteran by any means, but I think it's definitely been something that I've been more comfortable with over time. Friends can ground you. I think, maintaining a psychic connection with the person that you were before all the fame and all the success happened is critically important. I think, I see sometimes people who, have maybe lost sight of that, and I see how it affects them. And so it's always meant a great deal for me to keep, my friends as close as possible. And I'm very, very lucky. I have an incredible support system, whether that's my parents or my partner, my chosen family, my friends, whether back home in Toronto or out here in LA. I feel like I truly am surrounded by the best possible people, and I think that they're people that no matter what happens to me, will always kind of see me as a friend first and all the other stuff second. Should I show the camera? Basically, I had this crazy idea to bring 20 of my friends to Miami, half from my Canadian side and half from the American side, and to pit them against each other in an Olympic-style tournament of sports. So the plan was to go to Miami to compete, Team Canada and Team USA in volleyball, basketball, flag football, and soccer. Great idea. Would have been even better if everyone were maybe 10 years younger, But we're all of us firmly in our 30s, and I scheduled the volleyball and the basketball kind of back to back on a Friday, and we did the volleyball, which by the way Team Canada won. I have to put that out there. I'm obviously playing for Canada always and forever. And then going straight into basketball was maybe not the best idea. I'm dribbling the ball down the court, and all of a sudden I feel like someone has either shot me or kicked my shin out from underneath me, or just barreled into me. So all of a sudden I feel this force in the back of my right leg, and I kind of fall down, and it hurts a little, and I'm like, who hit me? Who hit me? And everyone's kind of looking at me, and they're like, dude, Simu, nobody hit you. You're just old. And it was at that moment that I knew that my Achilles was torn. And went to urgent care right away. I still managed to salvage a lot of the weekend. I was on the sidelines yelling and screaming at my team for the rest of the events, and still managed to go out, hopped my way onto a boat. So still had a wonderful weekend. But now that I'm back, the reality of what this is kind of starting to set in. It's a lot of sedentary life for the next little bit. I firmly believe that with every door closing, there's other doors that open, and this to me is a reminder to like slow down and to really lean into the other parts of my life that I've grown very passionate about, and really take the time to nurture those parts of me. Like I really want to get into music. I really want to. I already told my record label, like, I want someone to come in and teach me guitar every day. I also want to play video games with my friends. I want to just do all the things and really just take this as like a self-healing, in all ways, a period of time, chapter of my life. I've thought a lot about what is left on that bucket list, or I guess a better way to look at it is like, now that I've climbed that first mountain, it's like, that vantage point is different. Now you can see, other mountains, or you can see other goals that maybe you couldn't before, and it's a privilege for sure to be able to, to have the perspective to see, to even be able to set out these objectives. But I think one thing I'd really like to do is to build out a production company, and one that, can mine for content, whether that is, existing IP, whether that's an article or a book, or, something that you read in a magazine or a graphic novel, but those things that really highlight minority voices, and maybe more specifically Asian American voices. Coming off of my initial success, I think I was really surprised by a lot of scripts and projects that were coming in or that were being offered, and it's that feeling of like, you can tell when a system is not built for you, and so the scripts that you're reading are like, okay, I can tell that you wrote this for this person, this white, Hollywood actor who I admire and find extremely talented, but also we're just different. We come from different lived backgrounds. We have different faces, and that needs to be addressed. And I don't think that at the current state in Hollywood that is the system is at a point where it can support those different voices, and so I would love to play a part of that. I would be surprised if I was not a father 10 years from now. I think you just hit that point in your life where it starts happening around you, and all of your best friends that you grew up, just shooting shit with and being like delinquent kids with, all of a sudden get to positions of responsibility and duty and parenthood and you're looking at these guys and you're like, oh my God, I never thought that you would ever be responsible for another human life. But you can also see how rewarding of a journey it is. And I think I've always imagined myself as a father, so seeing it in front of me, I think cemented for me that I do want it to happen at some point.